I wake up every morning thinking about world events. Getting excited for the day's events. I hope you both feel the same happiness about being alive. The church will keep giving money and, hey everyone, something amazing is happening. In the Jesus Christ Church of, it's possible that this is one of the most important things said so far since he became president. There are changes made by Russell Marion Nelson that have made the church different in strange ways this time. His new phrase is even bigger and could go, we should change everything we know about the This is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The latest news about Saints President Nelson has shocked and excited a lot of people and made other people wonder what did he shared and what could this be. What does this big news mean for the church, its people and even the whole world? Stay with me as we go over all the facts before we get into the specifics of this news story. Let us talk about the president is the man behind it all. Russell Nelson, you may now know him as the leader of the Jesus Church Christ of Latter-day Saints, but he has effects that reach outside of church. President Russell Nelson is a unique leader. He's more than just a spiritual leader, man who has lived his whole life for both as the 17th head of the church, where millions of people follow him all over the world. What makes him unique is his skill for loving leadership, getting to know other people, and his being ready to make difficult choices. Since 2018, the year he became a prophet, many people were moved by his words about unity of faith and personal insight. His writings give people hope and strength, help people connect with God more deeply, their families, and get closer to each other with Jesus Christ. Ever since he took over, there have been big changes in the church. He is willing to make changes that do brave things when he believes God leads him. Did you know that before he turned into a prophet making life better for people and before he was pastor of the church, he was a well-known heart expert for creating medicines that save lives? A lot of people were helped by important medical work, and today a lot of medics, I still respect what he did. Field won a lot of awards for his medical work and faith. Over the years he has been praised by medical groups, schools, and world leaders for his science work, religion, and using his skills to help other people. Putting faith and reason together has earned him respect in faith, and unlike some leaders who are known in work only from their desks, Mr. Nelson moves a lot. He has went to many spots to meet with people in church, leaders of the government, and people of lot. Whether you're in a small town or Africa or a South American city with lots of people, he is willing to listen, teach, and help the people who are close to him. Went to Asia, Europe, and the United States, the Pacific Islands, and other South. Those places he's talked to presidents, prime ministers, and religious leaders will work together to links and spread peace-related ideas and peace on his trips. He has made it clear that faith isn't just about thoughts, but it's also about something you do, bringing people together and helping others. Nelson Ash stands out because he keeps its attention on faith unity, and he tells people to get personal insight by find out what God wants from them, how they were friends with Jesus Christ, and live a worthwhile life by what he taught you, stress, love, and helping others. And he became a leader through personal growth, who inspires millions to make changes in their lives. It's hard to believe that the person now leading millions of Latter-day Saints used to be a doctor. President Trump said that saving lives in surgery. The story of Nelson's journey is truly amazing. This story isn't just about trust, it's also about commitment, hard work, and a strong faith that there is more to his life than meets the eye. Did a well-known heart expert become a leader in the Jesus Christ Church of Saints of the Latter-day? Let's go back to the Russell Mar and Nelson were from the start. Born in the early 1900s, the world changed a lot because he became a well-known surgeon who later became a preacher. He grew up in a family that wasn't very unlike many Latter-day Saints. They were religious, who grew up in a strong church setting. It was not the same for Russell as a child. They were nice, but they didn't always care about church. But deep down he was drawn to the message when he was a kid. He was interested in faith and eager to learn more. He often thought about what God's plan was for him, and these questions he lived his whole life, but it wasn't the only thing he was interested in. Being interested in health and science as a child, he was interested in many things. Did you want to know how things worked? How the human body worked and how to treat sick people, and how doctors could help save lives? His interest would soon take him to do a great job in modern medicine. It was clear when Russell got to college, which meant he would become a doctor. He went to college at the University of Utah. He did really well in school, and getting his medical degree at a young age, but he didn't give up. He wanted to go further. Regular drugs and look into new chances for heart surgery when it's open. It was still new to do heart surgery. Nelson was one of the most dangerous people in the... He was the first person to help build it. Early teams that did important work. Surgical methods are helping a lot of people live longer and better, he said. Worked on making the heart-lung machine, which lets surgeons operate on the heart by doing the work of the heart and lungs. During the process, this thought alone, heart surgery will never be the same again. Because of his skills, he was able to visit the working with the best surgeons in the world. He gained a lot of respect from academics in the taken as FI by saving lives in the medical field and showing others how to do the same thing, even all the things he had done well. He felt drawn to something else that's more important than medicine. Even though he was a busy White House president, Nelson always did his many hours at the hospital, and he stayed for important medical studies, actively taking part in church while many people would have a hard time running a prayer. Russell had to do a hard job with his faith tasks. His main goal, and he was involved in the neighborhood church, talked about the message and worked to make it stronger. He was more than just a doctor because of his faith, was a man who loved God at the time. Something changed. Everything has a bigger reason for being in the... Russell Nelson got a call in the early 1970s that made his life different. He was asked to be a Church of Jesus Christ leader of Latter-day Saints. For a man at the peak of his medical career, this was he could have made a choice that changed his life. Leave the medical area where he worked, spent his whole life on, and began Russell had a brand new job and a clear answer. He saved money for years, hearts, but he felt drawn to heal now. In his mind, with a strong idea that he left surgery to give his full attention to work at church over the next few During those decades, he worked in traveling the world in leadership jobs, getting together with church people and words of love, hope, and faith. He was known for his intelligence and kindness, and a deep mental understanding of 28. There was an important event after Thomas Monson, the head of the company, died. Nelson, who was in charge of the Order of the 12 Apostles, turned into the 17th, the leader of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and he died at age 9, became the prophet and the leader. God bless the church. For many, it was a moving and powerful experience. A man who saved many lives in surgery for many years, who is now in charge of mental health. Some individuals may have... They thought that his age would slow him down, but they were wrong, because becoming President Nelson has been a leader with faith in the church and people all over with their excitement. He has been to many places around the world, talked to leaders and people around the world, and made changes to church customs and rules. Just when people think they've seen, every time he makes something new and statement that makes a fuss, the church has grown and changed over the years. President Nelson's time in office, some people like to keep things the same, as some people are open to change, but sure of themselves and with a clear plan. Russell Marion Nelson is the president, a leader who is strong and has faith, thinking about the choices they make that affect a huge number of people around the world since he became the church's leader of Jesus Christ for late-night saints. And Nelson, as president, in 2018 has set off a wave of changes that are transformative. Some of these were shocking, and some were brand new. They have all helped the church grow, though, in key ways. To understand why his recent big news is important, so let's look at how the church has changed first. Under his direction, the main goal of this is what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, to help people get to know Christ in everything it does, such as teaching projects and acts of... The service is all about helping people, help them grow in their faith, and feel better about being blessed. In the end, receive the Holy Spirit. Keep going until the end. The church is more... It's about more than just single ideas, putting together a group of people who... It's about lifting each other up and helping each other, adding love and kindness to the world, and doing something millions of church people from all over the world help with: crisis rescue and humanitarian work, projects for schooling and community service. Under the direction of President Nelson, the church has stepped up its attempts to help when there is a problem, build schools and hospitals, and give families help with self-reliance plans. When he was president, he took on a big role as a prophet. He could have kept things the same out of duty, same thing, but he made this clear instead was a time for good things to happen. One of these are the first big changes President Nelson to pay more attention to using the Fulham Proton Yorban what the church has been called for many years, both members and non-members. They called it the Mormon Church, and its members Mormons. Even though the fall it was well known and liked in popular Nelson, head of society and the media, they thought the church should always, in 2018, use the name of the rescuer. He made it clear that the church should stop calling yourself a Mormon and start calling yourself the Church of Jesus Christ is its full name. Of Latter-day Saints were shocked by this news. A lot of people used the word Mormon, used in ads for daily conversation, and even things that the church leader made. Nelson said that putting the full name is a way to honor Jesus Christ, show how important he is to everything. This change is supported by the church, changed how fans in the world saw them, saw the church's main social media pages. Pages and papers for the media were changed to keep Christ's name in the full name. Brought up if you went to church as a child, you might remember the usual 3-hour Sunday, the usual church meeting on Sunday, going to school and more classes. It was a method that had been used for a long time. Years ago, in 2018, President Nelson made an important change by adding a 2-hour Sunday plan. This change wasn't just for, it tried to put convenience first, getting to know the gospel at home instead of just asking for help from the church, building based on church events. People of their faith were asked to take more duty to take care of their own people, families and groups grow spiritually, had more chances to learn about the gospel at home, and put what they've learned to use, and get to know each other better. God without having to go to church. A lot of people, especially couples with young children, the kids liked this change. Something some people needed time to get used to it. This change let millions of groups of people to get closer and more, having a direct relationship with God, and the moral learning that happens at home. Come Follow Me was started by President Nelson, a Bible study method that can help members do things for the church that go beyond service on Sunday, rather than just hearing lessons at people and children in the church were forced to read the Bible during this week, talk about significant thoughts and use them every day this week. It wasn't just a small change to Sunday school lessons, it was a big change in how the group taught them to get better. Coming to Follow Me has helped me spiritually. Every age group learns more about Jesus Christ by telling them to read the Bible every day and make it a temples for daily prayer they are very important to Latter-day Saints. In certain places, members promise God some important things. Under President Nelson's temples of leadership have grown a lot more important, and it is simpler to get to one of the. What he did was make temple easier to understand. Practices that kept their faith alive, what they mean while making them. It is easy for members all over the world to. I think these changes made things better. Many people help build a temple for worship. Their mental ties stronger. One of the strange changes that have to do with temples has a big rise in temples building since taking on the job of prophet. President Nelson has said the building of many more churches around the world. Many of these churches are in places where members never thought they would see one in their lives. Dedication to building on the temple has changed how people follow their faith. Now more than ever, this helps people to go into the Lord's house and take part in religious ceremonies like any other big change. People have had different thoughts. There are a lot of people who welcome them with delight and faith in seeing them as. Some people needed help from God. Out of time to change, especially those who were used to old customs that quickly. President, one thing has changed. Nelson has changed the church into an exciting new direction that wants to grow your faith, make your family better, and spread what does Christ's words say. It might be bigger than all of this. Think about this. He's already changed the name of the Sunday services at the church, urged people to read the Bible on their own, and more churches like. What could he be saying now that he has never said before? You'll see the church if you stay with me. Of just Christ of the Second Coming, a worldwide effect that is still going on. It's amazing to think about the rise of the church with just 6 people at the beginning, people in the early 1800s, and how much the church of people who follow Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. As the LDS Church began as a small, upstate New York has a religion movement. In its early years it had trouble, that there was still pushback and even persecution, still managed to grow despite the problems. It did more than just grow, it thrived. Let's fast forward to now. The church has grown into a worldwide religion with more than 16 million people in almost every. In this area, the church has grown from a small places in the U.S. to busy cities and getting bigger in Africa, South America, and Asia, having roots that go far beyond what makes. Not only does this growth surprise the number of people, but also how it affects the church, is not only getting bigger but creating groups and making lives better and giving everyone a sense of belonging is one of the main. The church keeps getting bigger because this isn't just a teaching show. There is a big neighborhood project going on. Anytime, anywhere in the world, missions projects, more than 50,000 young preachers, most of them they are in their late teens or early 20s, having jobs in many different countries. They live together for 1 to 2 years. Their faith in helping others and getting the word out about hope and these preachers do more than just ask for forgiveness, just talk about religion, and they get into it. People from the area learn new languages and make friends with people from many places. They give background, help with community work, education, and they do a lot more than just help people in need. They help heal by teaching spirituality after disasters. Homes teach English and work on water cleanup projects that interest them. Is a real and important part of people's lives. Not just the preachers who helped with people in the area are very important to growth. Also in places where missionaries work. First talked about their faith with local clergy. They are now in charge of their own church groups and teach what the church says in their places where the change comes from. What effect on local leadership has strengthened the church's ties with cultures around the world. A clear sign of the church's growth is the quick rise in how many churches there are in the world. Temples are not the same as regular meeting rooms, on the other hand. Temples are open for services 7 days a week. Important in modern times. These are places for prayer and deep thought, rituals that are important, and vows that last, and they are being built quickly. A new church is being built in where the church didn't have many before. No places cities like Bangkok, Phuket, Thailand, Nairobi, Kenya, and Lima, Peru, places where the Latter-day Saints used to live, thousands of miles away to see a holy places, are now seeing these buildings go up in their own neighborhood. For many people, having a shrine nearby is a dream come true. In this case, let's look at Maria. She had to drive more than it takes 10,000 miles to get to the nearest temple. Having a temporary temple in her own city is a gift for her faith and family that she can't fully say. Nor James, who is from Ghana, who has seen they think the church will grow in their country, will give people in the future hope. Many Latter-day Saints find temples to be more than just homes. Their gods give us peace and let us know that every day our faith grows stronger. The church makes a difference that goes besides spiritual things. It also helps every year. Millions of people give money to help others. The church plays an important role all over the world, taking an active part in helping communities by giving people clean water after tragedies, helping with school, and bringing Latter-day Saint charities, gives away medical goods. A well-known church group has helped many thousands of people all over the world, no matter what religion they follow, that helps people in many ways, such as by this shows that refugees need food and help. It's promised to care for and assist. Don't forget about school, everyone. Brigham Young University is run by the church and some other schools that offer good. A school that focuses on morals and faith and growth as a person. This fund helps poor people pay for school. Some countries pay for education, which changes many people's lives by giving them access to college and better jobs. Like any the LDS Church has to deal with problems and complaints as it goes on to get more arguments about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints began in New York in the early 1900s, Massachusetts and New York. It has had a lot of there is criticism and debate today. This is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is still getting a lot of complaints. A lot of critics today point out that changing historical facts is a problem that the church has been accused of many things to cover up or change parts of its past, especially what happened with learning on polygamy in different races and historically controversial people like Joseph Smith, the leader of a large church. Opponents from the outside say that the church tell people about things in a way that, to protect its image, it hides hard facts. These facts have led some to blame the church to change its past with. Some people say that the church shows it has a history that is more acceptable to people today. The church is getting flack not just for it changes events and how people see it on issues like racism and LGBT rights, plus rights. The church's ideas about gender. A lot of people have said bad things about jobs for being unfair and out of date. Women in the church can't hold this job. Has caused a great deal of talk, especially in the last few years as gender. Our world is more equal now than ever before. Ask the church what it thinks about LGBTQ+ people. Topics have gotten a lot of negative feedback, especially what it says about same-sex marriage. The church has made marriage less strict in some ways over the years, but its lessons still don't match what many people believe. Moving forward with religion and without religion, one of the most talked about problems is groups. Today is the church's money. People have been in charge for many years, said the church was hiding its financial records, especially those in its rules on giving. Members must 10% of their income as a gift. To the church, many enemies have said for a long time that the church doesn't make it clear how it spends its money. This has made me wonder more about how and where the money is being spent. A lot of money is being made for the church. In December 2019, someone gave a tip. It was said that shocking claims there was a lot of money in the church. More than $100 billion was spent on different ways to make money. Someone who knows says the money wasn't used for volunteer work, because people may have. I thought it was said that the money was turned back toward business goals. The church lied to the people and donors about how the money was spent. The church tried to keep its money matters, kept the situation quiet. It got worse in October 2022, according to the Sydney Morning Herald. The Herald reports on a study that found having more trouble with the church's money management. The report says that even the church said it gave $1.35 billion to charity between 2008 and 2020. A different story was told in the papers. It was clear that the church had given only about $0.177 billion to charity, which helped a lot of people. A lot of people wonder if the church was being truthful with its people and the public, but it went on after that in February 2023, the U.S. Securities and Exchange. When the SEC stepped in, the SEC found Peak Counsel $5 for the church and signed million. The SEC says the church investments were hit and fake companies were used to manage its money to stay out of trouble. Being clear about its money, the SEC says these fake businesses were set up with permission from the main church leaders to keep the church's money safe. Business secret. The SEC found that these tricks to trick people had been going on for a long time. Beginning in 1997, the church sent out a message in answer in Sing Peak. Experts say they heard from lawyers about how to meet needs for reporting. The church's people in charge said that after worries were talked about in June 2019, and Sign Peak began to change how it did things and started putting together one report that there was already damage to the church's not being clear about its funds has caused doubt and criticism. This makes a lot of people wonder what else is still to be found. The news when President Russell M seemed to have made his important point. It felt like the world stopped for a. It happened at the 1904th president of the General Conference every 6 months. Nelson, who is now past 100 years old, said something that got everyone's attention with a message on tape. He said that the high priest would come back. Those words, strong and lasting, hit home. With millions of watchers, just picture hearing that from someone who has helped millions of people on their spiritual path It was more than just for many years. As a warning, it was said that everything that happened afterward, the way President Nelson usually does things, even higher, the Lord is. He said those words to speed up his work, got the people very excited. What did this mean for the future? That is, the news that followed made the president. The joy grows even more. Nelson said that the church would build 17 new buildings around the world with one. Some of them are in Utah. If you know about how far the church has come, we all know that building temples has been during the time of President Nelson ever since he became church leader. In 2018, 17.2 million people joined. He's shown off 185 new temples. It's more than half of the 367 buildings that have been planned or built. Why is this news is important? And it's not just about it's about what the buildings mean. Everyone knows what President Nelson says, that God's work is making the world go faster, needs these unique spots where people can connect with God's promises to help other people. This story shows that something is going to happen at church, but important that will have an effect on its people, what they do in the wider world. For a very long time ago, when Nelson told people this important news, came back quickly in a lot of different ways. People in the church were happy and excited about this news on social media. A lot of the posts said that for faithful members it thought the church they were following God's plan, and a part of something bigger than. One person said, "This is just what the world needed to hear is, but the Lord's work is still going on, moving forward faster than ever." Many others shared how they felt on sites like what Facebook and Twitter are saying about getting this work done faster, and what, for them, it meant that not everyone agreed. A few reviewers were shocked and asked why we need more temples. The business is unstable and society values are shifting. Why make all these places that we should not pay attention to? First, and asking about other problems, the host asked critics to say that the money these projects could use the things they need to do better in other areas. What do you think about Russell's notice? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for. If you like this video, please watch it. Please give it a like and join our channel while you're here. Check out the next video that shows up on your screen.